Hi guys, it's Tina. Welcome to the Grimm. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about my plans for the summer and going forward, and the journey that I'm embarking, and the reasons behind this. I have set out this summer to reawaken my psychic abilities. And this is something that I've done in the past and I've worked very hard at. And then life just got in the way, and work and family and all of that, you know the drill. And for me, if I don't practice regularly, I just am not very good at it. However, when I do, I'm very good at it. And I am a person that spirits seem to be around a lot, and spirit activity is very high. And I've lived in lots of places all across the United States, and majority of the places I have lived have had high spirit activity. So my goal is to tune into that and be able to communicate with them. They have let me know in the past many times that they want to communicate with me, and I've never wanted to communicate with them. So I think that once I establish this link, that I'll be able to do great things. And that's my goal, is to do great things, to help people, to help the spirits as well as people that they may be trying to communicate with. So I started the page to tell you my stories. And I'll start with the very first one, and it involves my aunt. And my aunt was going through some domestic issues, and she came to stay with us for, 3 or 4 nights while she sorted out her situation and then went back home. And I was probably in middle school then. So we're talking 79, 80, that era. So she was telling us about her spirit, her ghost, that it was a ghost of a lady, and that she was in her home, and that she tended to follow her wherever she went. And we sat around, oh yeah, you have your ghost friend, and yeah, is she here right now? And she said, well, of course she's here right now. She's with me wherever I go. Well, we were living in this apartment, and there was one of those pocket doors. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say a pocket door? Say the wall is here and the door slides into the wall when the door is open and then pulls out of the wall to close. So we had this pocket door that was closed, most of the way. It stuck out of the wall just a little bit. It was very hard to pull. It was always seemed to be off track, and so it never slid quite right. And so as we're laughing at her and joking and thinking she's really pulling our leg, that door slammed shut all the way, really easily, really loud. And that was our first experience. And of course it scared everyone in the room. My second experience was when I was a senior in high school. And we lived in this house. It was an old farmhouse. And if you know anything about farmhouses, generally in the olden days, there was a great big farm, and there would be one farmhouse in the center, and the family resided in that house where they owned the land and they farmed the land. And then as things progressed through the years, farmers didn't want to live on the land, and so they would put the ranch hands in those, the foreman, the ranch manager, whatever, would get that house, and then any other smaller houses, and they were always set in the middle of a field. And so we were in this great big farmhouse, and it had one of those wraparound porches that went all the way. And of course, even though the house was huge, one bathroom. And so I was a senior in high school, and I had 2 rooms around the back, and I had my own separate porch that came up into a sitting room, and then my bedroom, and it connected to the rest of the house through the bathroom. And the house had been lived in, and of course these are renters, of course. Again, the big owners of the farms rented out or gave the house to their foreman. And so it had been known by this family's name that had resided there all of my life, up until this point. And just like you would know of a house as being the old Jones's house, we knew of the house by this family's name. And for whatever reason, about a year before, they had moved out and my mother had moved in. And there was an incident with the eldest son, and he was probably in his 20s, and he had saved a boy from drowning. So he was on all the papers as being a hero and all that. And the city, the town, our little township, had given him a t-shirt that said hero on it. And he was in a car accident and died. And even though he had died and the family didn't live there anymore, when we moved in, we found that shirt hanging in the closet. It said hero on it. Okay, so this is going into this story. Now, my sister, who was probably around, I think I was in high school, so she would have been in middle school. She, one evening, just let out this blood-curdling scream. And she was standing in my mother's bedroom. Again, one bathroom, so 3 doors going into this bathroom. One through the kitchen, one through my mother's bedroom, one through my bedroom. She was standing in my mother's bedroom, staring at the foot of the bed, screaming. And my mother got up and said, "What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?" And she said, "There's a ghost. Don't you see her? Don't you see her? She's right there at your bed. She's telling me, come here, come here." And my mother said, "Oh, you're dreaming. Go back to sleep." And my mother's partner at the time had come into the room. He had worked late and was just coming home. And he said, She's not dreaming. I saw her 2 nights ago. She's telling the truth. She's seeing this lady." And so that was one spirit in that house. And a couple nights later, I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth, and someone burped in my ear, just a loud, boyish, "Bah!" And thinking it's my boyfriend, whip around and look, and no one is there. No one is there. So I don't think it was this lady. I think more than likely it was the young man who had been in a car accident and died. So those are my first 2 encounters, and the stories will get better. I've got some quite humorous ones. So stay tuned.